A pre-notification gang. Next to tier 1 Jackito. Have I seen the wild new community stable diffusion models? They're photorealistic. I haven't seen those. There's a Prime Madness. Jesus, that's a weird system. I don't know why you can name cockroaches. That's kind of fucking odd. Logan Paul just signed a $250 million contract for Prime. I saw. It's now the official drink of the UFC. Isn't that wild? Restock the slides, please. They will be. I actually didn't know they were sold out at the moment. But yeah, all of that gets restocked roughly every 2 weeks. Thanks to the resub. Cross, Jacob, Jags, Lion, and Lukey, Pickle, and the Bits Cree, and the resub Firefox and Tier 1 King. Yeah, no, we already. I talked about the Alec Baldwin stuff. That was a couple days back. Ooh, thanks to the 5 gift subs 2-inch and the 5 gift subs Shadow. And the resub Funky and the Bits Parzival and Teo. Speedrunning record for Pokemon Red and Blue was just made pretty much unbeatable. Interesting. I didn't see that. Thanks for resub Ozzy and Smog and the gift sub bros. Yeah, we're playing SpongeBob tonight. Is it possible to pre-order the slides so when they get restocked it's a guarantee? That's a great question actually. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's how that works. You can sign up for it. I just don't know if it's like guaranteed. There's a tier 1 Valdez and the resub Eden, Sinless, Kursk, and the Prime Ramilo. Oh, are you talking about the dark secret of Critical about me not being 5'6"? I actually saw that earlier today. Thanks to tier 1 Griffin. And the Bits Universal and Sylvie. Nothing too crazy yet, Sylvie. Most people are still just learning the established route for Exodus from the Earth. So nothing wild yet. Oh, today was the DC slate, right? Yeah, I totally forgot about this. I'll check it out. Thanks for reminding me. You said it was horrible? Thanks to resub work. Jacob, Monster, Slime, and the 5 gift subs Rose, and 5 gift subs Booty Call. Thank you for that. And tier 1 Oberon, and the Prime Derpy, and gift sub Mean Boy. Yeah, I announced the speedrun bounty today. All the info's in that. The game is Exodus from the Earth. I saw Ouija was running it earlier, Zach's running it right now, even Dankin's running it, so... We Super also. I don't know if Distortion's gonna run it though, he's doing other routes for Elden Ring, so I'm not sure if he's gonna hop back in this one. Hopefully he does though. I think he'd do really well in this one. And he did really well for Amok. Thanks to 10 gift subs, Troy. Appreciate the big drop. And the bits, yuck. Oh, nice, yuck. I didn't know it was you that made it. Yeah, it was good. Thanks to resub Ostag. Quick text message, hold on before I forget. Haven't seen the new Last of Us yet. This is the resub Tiger and the gift sub J Mundo. And the Prime Dungle. And the Bits Universal. And Young Boy. And the Prime Shook, Bob, and resub Potato. What's the plan? Go over some shit and then do the new SpongeBob game, Cosmic Shake. Oh, I didn't know they were running that. That's awesome, Sloth. Yeah, fuck yeah. Thanks, resub Burke. And the resub Zero. Yeah, we even talked about the Final Fantasy 14 stuff yesterday. Thanks, resub Daily D. And the bits Camus and Poopy. And yeah, I did watch that clip. That was awful. Oh my god, Jesus Christ, Rod. Thanks to the resub Shenanigans. Good to see you again tonight, man. Hope you've had a good day. Jesus, thank you for the fat fucking 50 drop again. Oh my god, Rod. Jesus Christ. When are you playing Dead Space? Oh man, you missed it. I already beat it. The VODs are up, man. What, it was 2 days ago, I think? Oh, not even 2 days ago. It's a little less than 48 hours ago I beat it. It was good. The remake was good. That name sounds very familiar. Is South Beach Toe that show where they like push that lady off of the garage? Pretty sure it is. And then she comes in like the Terminator. I don't. Who's Seth the Programmer? Why do you keep saying Seth the Programmer controversy? I don't know what that is. Oh wow. 2 hours and 46 minutes talking about why they don't work with this YouTuber anymore. Holy shit. Damn, here's, and then another one, an hour-long expose. Holy shit. The resub Doink, Noah, and the bits Popular, Parzival, and Bats. And the resub emotions. Hey, emotions. Hope you've been well. Thanks the resub hentai. Yeah, this is probably something I'd need to watch off stream. 2 hours and 45 minutes on it. But apparently it's pretty bad. Anyone post record for Exodus? No, right now most people are still learning it because it's kind of a big game. Like, a lot more so than Amok Runner. So no one's put together a full run yet. Thanks to resub Carthu and floating. Yeah, I'm playing the new SpongeBob game today. And the bit's popular. You watching the ALGS this weekend? You bet your sweet ass I am. It comes on at really suboptimal times though. So Thursday it starts at noon, which I won't be able to watch until... I don't remember. But I won't be able to watch Thursday from the start. I'll be able to watch all of Friday. And I should be able to watch all of Saturday and Sunday too. But Thursday is a really suboptimal time because it starts at noon. Moisty sports at the land, baby. Thanks the resub, stay in your lane. And the bits Froggy and Cree. Happy birthday, Froggy. And I am excited for Cocaine Bear. Thanks the resub, Floor. What do I think of the Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl? I think no matter what happens, I think Philadelphia is going to get fucked, like the city itself. They win, brace for crazy carnage. They lose, brace for crazy carnage. As for the actual game, though, I'm not sure. It'll probably be hype. Thanks to the bits Kiwi Boo and Hikari. Not tonight, popular. Yeah, it's just my white shirts are being washed. So I've just been using the Moist Global black tees in the meantime. And yeah, I played Hi-Fi Rush a couple days ago. Haven't beaten it yet, but it's cool. The worst ego lifters, huh? Well, if there's injuries, I can't watch that. I want to see the DC slate, though.
Hey, everybody. I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And
I'll tell you one thing, you don't need to do that. In fact, I'd say the only good thing about DC is that you had so many disconnected things, and some of them were good, some of them were bad. Let's say you do this DC where everything's connected and it happens to be shit, well, all of it's shit. Kind of a gamble. Kind of a big, big gamble. Thanks for your sub, Kate, Skip, and the gift sub to Shiro, and the Prime Nicholas.
If something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe.
I'll, I'll say it again. I'm not surprised the movie's coming out with how much they invested, but with Ezra Miller at the helm, I can't see that one going over well, James. I'll hit you with the cold water. There's not a whole ton of people super excited about Ezra Miller potentially staying the Flash, and they're definitely not excited about the movie having Ezra Miller still. But yeah, I'm guessing it's Flashpoint, which made it even harder to can. Thanks to Gibson Parker in the Prime Maya. I'm not even big in comic books, and I know what Flashpoint is, so.
Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver,
what an interesting
who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story.
I can't even say it's like a bad idea because they haven't been able to make the DCU actually hit, and they've used fucking Superman, Wonder Woman, like they've brought out all their big guns. So maybe at this point it is best to go for like more of the side character, like less known ones. Maybe that is the play. But it is very interesting why they'd go that direction off rip.
That's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay.
Peacemaker was good. I did enjoy Peacemaker.
The true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy.
Oh, there you go.
This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective, with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU, and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken, and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes.
That sounds like the most generic superhero thing ever. Why else do superheroes form the groups? To fix the world. This one's very different. They think the world is broken, so they want to fix it. Is the Authority cool? Like, are their comics cool? I don't know anything about them. I've never heard of them, ever. Authority is amazing. Okay, well that's good then. Authority is like the boys for DC. Okay. I can get behind that then if they're cool. Because I'll tell you right now, just by appearance, I'm not like super sold on it. It's all very generic standard heroes, except this guy. This is just normal man. I don't know what his powers are. He has the power of a full-grown man at his disposal, I guess, and nothing else. So just looking at this doesn't get me super hyped for what they do, but if you say the comics are good, I mean, I guess I can get behind that. And hopefully it's not bad.
I want to fix it by any means
Argent,
necessary.
Buggy, Parn, Ginny, and MaxiPad.
Superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is a story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy.
Booster Gold was the butt of an entire joke on our podcast. Booster fucking Gold is getting his own show? I also like how he called him popular. One of the reasons he became such a joke is because we were looking up like unknown comic characters and Booster Gold was towards the top of that list and the name was so silly and everything about the character is pretty fucking silly. I don't know if he's like exploded in popularity recently, but I'll tell you right now, Booster Gold was not that popular a couple years back. Explain it. If I remember correctly, Booster Gold's power is he can time travel. So he's kind of a time traveling jock. And I can't remember, he had something else too. But I think his big one was being able to go back in time. So he comes from the future. Is it tech? Does he just have access to a lot of future tech? I thought he had another power. Thanks the Prime. God and resub bin. Oh, Jesus. And the 10k bits Robindale. This is Swag Kage. I've known made vids with Seth for 6 years. Yeah, I don't know the whole Seth situation. I wasn't going to watch it on stream. I was going to watch it in general, though, since it seems like it's a pretty foul situation. But yeah, I wasn't planning on watching it on stream. This sounds pretty serious. I'm sorry to hear that, if it is like a actually awful thing that's going on. Things are resub chaotic in the bits Hikari and Tori. In the Prime Data Party. These movies all sound AI generated. Well, this one's a TV show.
He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about. A very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. Prime. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
I gotta tell you, I don't know why you said it's horrible. I expected this to be just like generic DC schlock. Like, here's Superman, a movie coming out, and then the sequel where Superman's fighting two Supermans, but they're evil versions. I thought it was going to be really uninteresting shit. I like I said, I do think that probably is the right play, choosing characters and stories that no one gives a fuck about, like on the mainstream level. That's probably a good call. Like, having a whole fucking Swamp Thing movie? That's pretty cool. I don't know why you said it's horrible. I'm very curious, actually. He's a tier 1 Blaze in the resub. Sophie, Webb, and Frenzied. But it is formulaic? Oh, it could absolutely just be very formulaic. But if they wanted, like, what I thought would be the easy path, they would have just gone, right, we're doing new Batman, new Superman, new Wonder Woman, new Aquaman. Like, we're just rebooting all of the big staples, new Justice League, and just, like, do the exact same path, but try and make it better. Which is what I would have expected. But they're like, hey, we're doing a fucking Swamp Thing movie and a Booster Gold standalone TV show. Something with the Authority. Whatever the fuck that is. Like, little niche shit. A whole Amanda Waller spinoff. These things. The Creature Commandos. It could still be trash. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's at least an interesting approach. Thanks to resub Dragon, Dongle, and Boner Man. The bits Parsville and the resub Bardo. Remember when they did Booster Gold and Arrowverse? Of course I don't remember that. I didn't fucking watch CW. People say Arrow was good, but I watched that fight with Ra's al Ghul. That was terrible. People hype that fight up. I don't know if we have like a lot of Arrow fans here, but that final fight I thought was awful. And then he like kicks him off a cliff after stabbing him, and he's still like just fine. He's like, hey, yeah, I'm fine, I'm back. And they kept using the same goddamn stock sound effects for swords clanking. Oh, it was driving me mad. Everything was so slow. There's a tier 1 Spout in the Prime World, and the resub Shoot and Prime Pervert. Oh, nope, Pre-Vertigo. Is the art from the show or generic art of the comic characters? Oh, I think this is just one of the comics. The show is probably not even in production yet. Is it Prime Collage? Okay, I'll keep that in mind, Keith. I'm unfamiliar with who that is, so I really am coming in there with no preconceived notions on the person. I don't know who Seth the Programmer is. I'm not familiar with the content. These are the bits Polar Bear and the Prime. Frayed. Happy birthday, Polar Bear. You see the viral clip of the teacher who fought a student. There's been like 5 cases of that in the last year alone. I don't even know which one you're talking about. This is a hit piece. Bro, I haven't watched it. I don't know anything about it yet. I couldn't tell you. But I don't think I'm going to watch it on stream. Like I said, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes. That'll probably just be something I watch on my own time. You see the woman washing away all the child's chalk art? Yeah, I did see that one. There's a 22-year-old varsity basketball coach who pretended to be a 13-year-old JV basketball player today. Did he at least win? Did he dunk on the kids? Doing alright. Hope you're doing well, E3. There's a resub, Joe Mac. There's the Prime Squishy. And the resub Gorilla. DC going down the same path as Ubisoft. What do you mean? Thanks to the Prime Bearman and the resub Drunk. You should carry DC like you did the Hunger Games. James Gunn follows me on Twitter. Maybe he's about to recruit me into the commando creature commandos. Who knows? There's the Prime Cheese and the resub Belt and Samurai. You could be the Weasel. Yeah, I could do cool sound effects, I guess. There's a tier 1 goblin and the Prime Gummy. And give sub sushi. God slap in DC. Yeah, imagine he shouted out God slap. Really wanted to work with God slap. Couldn't get in touch. Thanks, resub corrupt. Here, Hulu's working on King of the Hill revival. That's cool though. I doubt it'll be nearly as good as the original. Thanks a gift sub. Phobius. You're sub arrested. Good point, Andrew. Thanks the Prime Korean. Would you let them use God Slap? I mean, sure. I don't see why not. We only have 2 issues right now, though, so I doubt they'd use it at the moment. Issue 3 comes out a little less than a month. Maybe after that. Thanks a bit, Randy. You see some companies saying they're going to bring back woolly mammoths by 2027. I read that like once a year. I don't think it's going to happen though. Thanks, Resub Awesome. Thanks, the Prime Drink Milkshake. Really, really hope to see more animations of God slaps. Oh yeah, well, like I mentioned, 2 days ago, we have an anime intro coming out within the next 2 months, as well as a theme song made by one of my favorite bands for it. So it's a full song, but for the anime intro, it's cut down to a theme, so it'll be 2 pieces. Thanks, the resub Mitch. And the resub Full Metal. Did I see the One Piece live action teaser? Did they release a new one? Scary Kids Scaring Kids. I used to love that band. I still love that band. I know the lead singer passed away quite a while ago, though, which is a real shame. No, they haven't shown anything new from this.
Hey everybody, I'm James.
What's your favorite band? Favorite band is Deftones, I think. I always flip-flop, but I think Deftones. I've liked them since I was a kid, and their music is still timeless. Thanks a resub, Mason. I still like Rise to Fall. I still really like Cybreed. You hear the Polyphia song with Chino on vocals? I did. It was great. That was a really good mix. I hope they do more collabs with Polyphia. Clyde, the guy who made the 2-hour expose, is trying to get your help against Seth? What do you mean? Like, to watch it? I mean, I planned on watching it just to stay knowledgeable on what's going on. It's just, I mean, we can at least start it on stream, I guess, so I can get like a broad scope. This must be fucking foul. That's like the third person. Well, this is the guy that made the video, but even outside of him, there was like 3 other people that came in here, like Swag Kage, talking about it. This must have been like really awful shit. Jesus Christ. Let me see what the channel even is. Like I said, I'm not familiar with the content. Could Batman solve the Kira case? So Chad was saying it's mainly like power scaling shit, so I see. Doing like what ifs and looking at like how certain characters would act in different situations or in different mediums. Gotcha. Alright. I'll at least start it here.
I'm snaking. I don't even know how I would snake any of them. How would I snake any of these people in question? Wasn't dishonest or lie or anything. Did you and Clyde fall out about Narc vs. Each Goat? No, that's cringe. Stop being cringy. I'm not gonna lose a friend over like 7 years because of fucking anime. Like,
toilet.
You gotta get over that.
For what it's worth, people lose friends over much less than anime these days. People can't be friends with someone who has like a slight deviation in an opinion from them. It's fucking tragic. Anime, I feel like, would be the absolute #1 place you'd be losing friends.
Yeah, I don't lie to people. Like, I'm not like snaky. I'm very like, when it comes to my relationships with people, I always tell people like what I think and how I feel and all those things. I'm never like, if I don't like you, you can just like tell. You know what I mean? So no, I'm not snaky at all. That's very disingenuous to say. Especially people that have known me in public. You know me in the old Discord servers or anything. If I didn't like you, you would just know, bro. Like, it was just wildly apparent. So no, I never snaked anybody or anything like that. Sometimes things just don't work
Getting a
out,
feeling that's not
you know
the
what I mean?
truth.
For many different reasons. So.
We do need Clyde versus Swag, man.
Oh.
But I'm not close to Clyde anymore, so I can't instigate it.
Like, I would not have helped Clyde and Chuck make a career. I could have done everything I've done now without any of those losers, so.
Wow, what a
podcast is not fucking happening. That shit is not happening, bro. That shit is not happening.
This has been like 13 days. What a crazy falling
bro.
out.
All I'm gonna say, bro, it's not me. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not me. I can show receipts for this shit. All I can say is that I tried. Nobody can blame it on me. I would be worried about anyone blaming on me if I didn't have the fucking
Thanks for hacking bits,
evidence
Keith.
to back up that it's not me. I'm just saying, if it comes to like that, I have to prove it's who did what. I can just prove it wasn't me. Actually, hold on, let me delete this community tab post, cause I'm not sure that shit is happening anymore. It would be a miracle if that podcast happens at this point.
Thanks a tier 1 Cheeto.
So, a lot of you have probably noticed by now that Seth the Programmer and I do not collaborate on content, follow each other on any social media, stream together anymore, and whenever Naruto vs Ichigo is brought up on my streams, I either avoid the topic, direct people to Seth, or hide people from my Twitch chat when they spam questions in regards to the project.
So I'm assuming this was a video they were making together, Naruto vs Ichigo. Man, that feels like 2008 again. I had a channel dedicated to that kind of shit back in the day. Is that what it is? It's like a collaboration they were doing? Thanks to the resub, Bully Beef. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, and it was so well animated too. Really? Oh, what a fucking shame. Is it out? Like, are there clips of it out? I'd be very curious to see the quality level. Oh, here, from 8 months ago. Thanks, Resub Cathedral and Keith. These are clips from the show so far. Spoilers if you haven't seen these. Bro, it is Naruto and Bleach. I think plenty of time has passed. So I'm assuming... Did they hire someone to make this, or is one of them an animator? This is really impressive for a fan animation. Usually anime fan animations don't hit. This is really good. Who did this? Usually fan animations on YouTube that actually slap are like things like 40K. 40K always goes so hard on their fan animations. Or, oh god, what was the other one we were just talking about? Berserk. Though that one is like anime, but Berserk like transcends anime somehow. Fan animations on that go so crazy. What is the... We just talked about the other one. 40K and who was it? Omar the Goat, is that who made this? They're not even credited here. Unless I've missed it. Is it Prime Whisper in the resub bag end? Their name is Omar. Can you tell me their name? I'd actually like to look at more of their work. This is very impressive for like a YouTube fan anime. Well, even just aside from that, just in general, the quality on this for a fan animation is nuts. Like I said, usually they're not that great. This one looks pretty fucking amazing. I get his name is Omar, but like, what's his actual name so I can find his work? Oh, his name is literally just Omar on YouTube? Fuck. That's gonna be kind of hard to find. If I just type in Omar. Football cartoons? Probably not. Just talk to Clyde. Well, it shouldn't be that hard to find the animator. I don't know why they wouldn't be credited here. That's kind of crazy. Resub Grandissimo. Yeah, I guess. What's Clyde's Twitter? I guess I could just ask. Because I would like to see more of their work. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. Tiana just went to bed, so I'm gonna go say goodnight. Give me 2 seconds. I'm back. Clyde sent me the person's work. It's the Omar. Not just Omar. Thanks to Resub Veloster, Jev, Pass, and the Prime Gahana. Okay. That's right.
Well, for those of you unaware, Seth and I have not spoken in voice chat since January of 2022. You may be thinking to yourself, there seems to be a pretty common trend with Seth. Another one of his friends is now not associated with him. Well, this isn't the first time this has happened, or the second for that matter, when it comes to us too. But no one has really known about our association beyond just YouTube formality in public. All of the stuff in this video has been kept a secret, mostly because I thought he and I could just move on, do our YouTube stuff, and be adults. But just like every other time, where we've had drama like this, or he's deleted or blocked me, or cut me off for any random...
Let me take a peek. Oh, I went forward, not back. What is happening in this? I feel betrayed by you, no sympathy, trash tier friend, trash, over an anxiety attack? Is that what that is? Maybe I should get on my knees and lick your asshole. Come on, bro. What the fuck? I mean, yeah, and there is a huge gap here. What is this, 4 months? Oh, no, wait. That's not 4 months. Oh, it even says here. Okay, got it.
Cut me off for any random drop of the hat reason. He just can't stop himself from talking about me, my friends, or his own quote-unquote friends on his streams, his videos.
Deleted me because I didn't want to play Among Us. Oh.
Or anywhere else. And with the very clear recent spiral of his mental health, which can be seen by his sporadic tweets and the stuff that he says on his streams. Also the threats about doing something to the community, and then other little shots here and there that he pops at me on stream all the time. My hand has been forced. Trust me when I say I did not want to have to make this video. Along with that though, there are channels popping up spreading drama about Seth that I wasn't even aware of. And I have a suspicion that he is going to attempt to throw me under the bus to avoid any criticism for his handling of the Naruto vs. Ichigo project, which I will get into in this video. I'm going to get very in-depth about that because you guys deserve to know the truth in regards to that project. I've known Seth since November of 2016. I initially reached out to him after watching some YouTube videos on how to grow your YouTube channel, and the best method suggested was to make friends with creators of the same style of content and to try and have sort of a community to help each other thrive. You've no doubt seen countless YouTube circles that bounce off one another like this, and this in turn did actually happen because I reached out to Seth on Twitter, he replied to me, we started talking through DM, and in truth, I actually enjoyed his content. And a few months before this, I had met SwagKage, whom I connected with Seth, and then the next thing you know, we had our community, where we'd collaborate, and we were all pretty much known as the main three, with Chuck being Seth's old friend, that covered Dragon Ball and would make debunk related content with him. Now I want to preface before I get into this video that although SwagKage and I haven't really talked very much in the past 2 years, or collabed, this has been mostly due to Seth's manipulation of Swag behind the scenes. Ever since he and I had drama in 2018, that's Seth I'm talking about, He wanted me to be as far away from Swag Kage as possible, because he knew that if I could talk to Swag, that I could show him what was going on behind the scenes. What Seth did was try to instigate debates with us all the time, lie when I was not in call with them, and various
Tier 1
other
Swedish in
bad
the resub
things
Rubian.
which has taken place over the course of the past few years. So for those of you who are curious why I don't collab with Swag, well, there's your answer. Now, I'm going to show Swag Kage something here in this video that's definitely going to get his attention. To say that I've been cooking in the past year would be a very big understatement.
He hurt me so bad. He fucked me up. He asked if I was on the spectrum.
Oh my
Which
god.
shit, I might be, but he said, this is a serious question, are you on the spectrum? And
Yikes.
I said,
Jesus.
what the f is that? Like, I was crying at the time, but like, I'm glad we weren't calling. It was just through text. And God, what else? He said that I was awful, and it was just horrible.
Yeah, the
He
typing
said I was
is...
disgusting.
Yeah, the typing... that you should have waited till after talking to her. The typing is really distracting. But that is pretty fucking odd. He's taking notes. Yeah. Yeah, still though. Probably should have waited on that. Hold on. Quick text message of my own. Thanks for the 10 gift subs, Extendo. Appreciate it, man.
I am genuinely I'm genuinely with all my heart. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's not your fault. I did not deserve that. I did not deserve
Thanks
that.
for sub, Eddie.
And I blocked him. Rightfully so. I blocked him. I was like, F you, I'm out.
Now, to give you guys some context as to how serious this situation could potentially be, well, Seth is the type who would willingly slander Swag Kage or I, and anything we've told him in private, he would instantly tell the public about. It's just within his character to act this way. He will go so far to lie, and has even done so about things as serious as false rape allegations. You also may not know this, but Swag at the time was also worried, and he probably is now, because Seth had been secretly recording their private calls over the course of the months and years they knew each other, and has no doubt done so to me many a times without my knowledge or consent. I'm actually curious to see, after this video, what kind of weird stuff he has been recording, especially the out-of-context stuff that he's no doubt going to share.
Anything happen? Is there any previous acts that started all this? I'm as blind on the subject as you can be. As I understand it, Clyde and Seth were collaborating on a highly anticipated project of Naruto vs. Ichigo. And I guess people were wondering what's going on with that, and then shit talking kept happening. I'm like on Seth's streams about it, and then I guess eventually all of it bubbling over with a ton of like other people coming out about their experience with Seth, which eventually led to this video explaining why they don't work together anymore, I think. I think that's what led up to this, I believe, is the context.
That being said, today I want to talk to you about something that many people have warned me against. I've heard about 5 different people I know tell me not to do this and to not risk it, as Seth's channel is too large and you'll just get bullied by his audience when he replies or twists the situation, which he will do, as I watched him do it right next to me during the satire stream, where he was accused of asking an underage girl for nudes, flirting with an underage boy, and it was insane to watch how easily people believed his lies because they only know the personality they see in his videos or streams. I'm not kidding, and I don't mean to say this in a humorous way, but for the longest time, it legitimately felt like Geen watching Eisen do some pretty fucked up shit. And the closer I got with Seth over the years, the more I started to question my own morals with supporting the stuff he was doing. The satire stuff, as an example, I only knew what I was told by him at the time, and I went onto that stream.
Is Is this for that stuff?
I only knew what I
Jesus Christ.
was told by him at the time, and I went onto that stream to defend him as any good friend would do. Which he has rarely done so for me in such a selfless way, apart from financial assistance. I kind of feel in retrospect
Yikes.
that it was a bad idea to blindly support him, but you'll understand why I did more as you watch the video. The more that I've come to learn about the satire situation and other things, the more I've come to be more worried about his real self. I want to say this very clearly. If you follow Seth or I, and you enjoy our content and have a certain image of us that you think we're like in real life, please listen when I say, have an open mind and hear what I have to say. Do you think I would drop this video out of nowhere for absolutely no reason? If you are someone that's excited for Naruto versus Ichigo, and you want to know the truth about that too, then make sure you listen to what I have to say in this entire video, because as most of you know, that project was a project that was initially involving us too. And it's quite wild because there's actually a lot of people that don't know I was the co-host of that project, because he would always try to take the credit for it. Well, to give you further insight on that, many of you don't know, but Seth secretly cancelled it on more than one occasion. And by doing so, he also scammed a lot of fans out of money too, and then lied about it on stream.
He said, is Naruto vs. Ichigo canceled? If not, why is the Patreon page is gone? I already talked about this. What do you mean it's sus, bitch? I talked about this on stream 4 times. The f*** are you talking about, sus, you dumbass motherfucker? Anyone that watches my stream would
Jesus
know I've already
Christ.
talked about canceling it. What? I literally made a Patreon post for a month straight saying it was. What? That's pretty sus, man. Shut the f up. What are you talking? I wasn't hiding it.
What's with the, like what would be sus anyway? Isn't it yours? Like, weren't you paying for
Right?
it?
Acting like I made money off of that, bruh. What the hell?
Well, you had a...
Y'all think I made money from that? What do you mean?
I'm confused. He had a Patreon for it, right? Wouldn't I mean, Patreon's not just like a chat board. You pay money to see that stuff, right? So, yeah, I think you would have made money on it. I'm a little confused there.
Sus, you dumbass.
Dick.
What the f
Bro,
freeload.
this killed me. This killed me. Nick started a GoFundMe to do the animation themselves.
Yeah,
bacon.
like, nah, it's not gonna happen. If it has to happen again, it has to be paid for by me. There's no way.
Like, bro, they were asking for $127,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you random ass aren't getting that, bro.
Yeah, Simon.
Bro, this nigga, the dick eating is insane, bro. You see this nigga's comment? I told the people who batter, YouTube viewers don't batter, as if your entire career didn't come from YouTube viewers.
Bro, I don't look. I say that to your face. I hate y'all. I do. I hate you, and I've said it since day one. I call y'all for giving me money. I pack you on site. All we do is just talk each other. You hate me, I hate you. It's a mutual hate relationship. That's just how it is.
So
It's always been that way.
thanks for the 20, my nigga.
I literally sit here call you my
Holy shit.
son. Look at Geets' dumb again. Coming in, $20. Like, oh, it's like clockwork. I don't give a
That's such a weird... I can't say I've ever seen it before. It's such a weird thing to do. That's not even like a flex or something cool. Like, oh, I don't care. That's... You're biting the hand that feeds you. Bro, you relied on Patreon. And you point blank insulting them. Like, you're not like an e-girl pay piggy kind of thing. That's not gonna work. Half of your audience isn't like humiliation fetish people. They're weebs. That's just being fucking stupid. That's just being a dumb, stupid asshole to say that kind of shit. That's wild, actually. Just mask off Fuck you guys. Wow. Thanks to the resub Octane and Ginger. He unironically calls them pay pigs. Oh, really? He has a weird perception of weebs. I've at least in every experience I've seen from weebs online, they're as far from pay pigs as possible. If they give you $1, they feel entitled to the fucking world. Like, God, who was it? I think it was one of those hentai commissions on Patreon, one of the really popular ones. There was a huge controversy because they delivered a less than amazing piece of hentai, and they're like, "We've been scammed! I pay $40 a month, and this is what I get." I feel like weebs are just not pay piggies. That is a bold strategy to just be saying that shit right to their face. Thanks to Tier 1 Barley, Tier 1 Omni, and the 5 gift subs Octane, the gift sub Mitch. They still pay for it, though? Well, up until they don't. What do you mean? He didn't deliver. And then he's insulting them. They'll just go to the million other anime channels. Thanks to Prime, Ilvium. And Tier 1, Piglet. How well you know them? I don't. What do you... I'm just saying, from everything I've seen from, like, anime community, they're not really just like, oh yeah, just insult me right to my face, we're really forgiving. Oh, that's fine. Oh, geez, Rick. Oh, you hate me? They do not forgive and they do not forget on even the smallest issues. I've never got that impression from the anime community. I said I don't like JoJo's Part 3 and 4 as much as 1 and 2, and they never forgave me. And that wasn't even like that wasn't me calling them any kind of names. I just don't think... I do not think they are pay piggies that would be okay hearing this kind of shit from a guy they follow.
It's a lot of money geese. But
I love Geeks, but he's retarded. And I'll say that straight up.
Now, after this little stream clip where Seth is getting nervous at being questioned about what happened to
Thanks
the
to the bits,
project,
Cobalt.
Seth
Thanks
then
to
goes on
Vitamin.
to lie about how much the project actually made by claiming it only made $1,000.
How much is one guy's salary? The Patreon didn't even make as much as you think remotely. I think the Patreon was only like 1K.
Oh, no.
That's what I mean. The Patreon's only like 1K, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
That's nothing.
Yeah, it's really not that high. Like, people over-exaggerate, I think. And, like, dude, so not only was the Patreon, like, only, like, around 1K, but, like, there's, like, 10 people in my, like, Discord server that were, like, $100 donos. You know what I mean? So, like, those guys pretty much paid for the whole thing themselves of the Patreon, you know what I mean? So,
Bro.
yeah.
So in this screenshot here, where he's talking to me directly after we had advertised the Patreon, he confirms it made around $10,000, which directly goes against what he was saying, and if anyone's going to know the amount that the Patreon had, it's going to be us too, considering we were the ones working on the project. And I got some other stuff to show you guys, so enjoy these little recordings from two of the people who supported the project in the Patreon, who both donated over $2,000 themselves.
And then on stream, when he's like, oh yeah, the Patreon hardly got any money, I was like, bruh. Me, Billy, freaking Thomas Azrael White, like, we all put in a ton of money in this. Like,
How much?
You guys...
How much did you
Like,
contribute? Because you used to have a pretty frequent, like, you had a consistent job at that time, didn't you?
Can't you see how many people are subbed on Patreon? Only if the person lets you. It's a thing you flick on, I'm pretty sure. You can have totally private Patreons. I think that's what Belfine used to do, right? So people could only speculate. So you could have just hit all of that.
Warehouse working like 90-hour weeks. I was busting my ass.
How much you believe you contributed altogether? Like, what did it accumulate to?
At least 2K?
Yeah, it's similar to what Billy donated by himself. It's funny because Seth claims that In total, it made about $1,000. There's a screenshot I actually found where he verbatim states that within the first few months, it made $10,000, which directly goes against what he said on stream.
Yeah. It's just like, you like went at it, and then when he said, yo, it didn't make any money, like, his next stream, I was in there calling him out, and I was like, yo, like, what the fuck? Why the fuck are you lying to your fans? Like, why are you being a rat? And he just never answered. I was like, this
towards Naruto versus Ichigo, I didn't donate into Patreon because I quickly left the Patreon once I realized it was bullshit and you weren't actually getting anything.
Okay.
So I was just donating to him directly for the Naruto versus Ichigo project.
And what do you think that accumulated to?
Around $2 to $3 grand. If I'm lowballing, $2 grand.
Here's a screenshot of him saying that, as it stands right now, he doesn't even care. He's just going to make the project for money. But we're going to get more into that in the video because you guys need some context on this situation. The result of this video will be
what a
false drama
fucking
spread
mess.
about me.
Jesus.
This larger audience aren't going to listen to me, regardless of the massive preponderance of evidence that I'm going to show in the video. Seth will no doubt lie about me and 100% try to come after me beyond just a YouTube response or a response on his Twitch. I will absolutely have people come after me that don't know the nuance of the situation, especially people that he has lied to, and so on and so forth. And blah, blah, blah. There's so many bad things that could come out of this. But here's the thing. Outside of YouTube, I have literally nothing to lose. So one thing I won't do is allow myself to be a scapegoat for this sociopathic rat fuck. I also implore anyone...
I like how Clyde bleeps every single bad word from everyone else except for himself. That's such a power move. You guys won't get to say it, but I'm going to say it. Rat fuck. That's big.
Out there who has known Seth for many years, especially before this YouTube stuff, to make your voices heard and to share this video. I bet there's drama out there about Seth that hasn't seen the light of day because of how intimidated people are to expose him. Don't worry though, I'll do what everyone else is too scared to do or has failed at in the past. Believe me when I say, for a long time, I did consider Seth one of my closest, if not my best friend, and I have many good memories of us, especially all the times we watched TV shows together, had streams together, made some fire-ass videos together, played games in private, spent times having some very deep conversations. There are many things that I can look back on and say those were good times with him, but sadly, you guys don't even know a smidgen of the bad shit that happened behind the scenes. I could actually tell that part of him did enjoy our dynamic together, but there was always something about him that made me very careful around him, especially with what I would tell him about myself. Even people from the Google Plus days that knew Seth a lot longer than I did, all warned me to be very careful with staying friends with him. This was a place that Seth had spent a lot of time in before the YouTube and Discord stuff really popped off. But I want to give you some context as to my situation before I became friends with Seth. During the end of 2016, I was living with my grandmother after moving out of a very abusive household, which I was in since around 5 years old. I witnessed violence almost every single day, drug use. I was abused myself so much to the point that when I would walk home from school, I would literally pray that it would be a normal day when I would get home. I couldn't even complete my schooling or go to university, which was an aspiration of mine. As I turned around 17, 18, I wanted to do journalism and that just fell through completely. It was so bad actually that I remember when I was around 18 years old that I literally cried because I wasn't able to be accepted into a single university because I didn't complete my high schooling. Obviously, I should have known at the time, but that's how important it was to me, and because of my home situation, I could never complete any schooling. I couldn't even pursue my initial inspirations of wanting to be in the AFL, which is the sport that we play in Australia. It's a very unique sport that we only play in our country, and I
actually know all about that one, to be fair. That's the Australian Football League. We watched the whole documentary on that a long time ago. The AFL is pretty fucking hype. Thanks to Prime 2 Loco, Sloim, Nep, and the resub Cantaloupe.
Childhood too. I even experienced my stepfather beating my mother countless times when I was younger, especially at times when I was too young to help. Trying to strangle her to death in her sleep, which I could actually hear from my bedroom while I'd be lying in bed petrified.
Jesus Christ.
And much, much more all around from the ages of 5 to 18, and I've rarely ever spoken about this on stream or in videos. In fact, not many people know anything about my childhood. They just think I'm an asshole that streams and talks to people and that I had an easy childhood, but it was, it couldn't be further from the truth. Maybe one day, In the future, I'll explain all this in a video, but just know that's just a small bit of it, and yeah, my life up to this point has not been a fun experience, that's for sure. From 2015 to December of 2016, I had a girlfriend that I would say was the closest thing that I had to family my entire life. Someone I legitimately would have died for if I had to at the time. It's cringe to say this, but I do want to lay out how important this person was to me because it's very pivotal to this story and how I met Seth and just that whole time period in general. I've been through some bad stuff and have lost a lot in life, but this legitimately destroyed me as a person for many years. No one had treated me like she did at the time, and at the time, I took it for granted. Honestly, without giving myself an excuse, a lot of it was because of my past bad experiences, and I really did take it for granted. After a year with this individual, they had left me completely in around December of 2016, and this was a month into already being friends with Seth. Throughout this time period, Seth and I would have some pretty deep conversations, and it was good to have a friend at the time to talk to that actually listened. Seth honestly didn't tell me anything that I didn't already know. I already knew the scope of the situation, and that's what made me even more depressed. But I did appreciate having him to talk to about this stuff. That's what mattered to me. That being said, my mental health and my physical health became really bad. Almost everything about me started to go downhill as if my body was in this weak, dying state because I was that depressed. I wrote 3-page side notes. I researched the easiest way to essentially commit toaster and bath, and I even bought medication specifically to overdose on. At the time too, I also kept messing up quite a lot because I had a undiagnosed case of anxiety, which I then got diagnosed thanks to seeing a doctor and some psychologists. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't even get proper employment because I probably would have looked like a crazy person while working at the job. Losing this person put into perspective that I honestly didn't know what I had at the time, and it made me feel even more awful because the more I started to sit there and stew over how she was
well, at least Seth was there.
My life just
he turned out to be a great guy.
I was pretty much isolated to online life and doing nothing but just talking about which fictional drawing punches the other one harder in the face. This was an aspiration of mine to make these YouTube videos, but I can't lie and say that I wasn't having a bad time because this should have been some of the best years of my life when I was doing these collaborations, you know, with Swag and Seth and everybody. And
thanks for sub Snappy and the sub Rod.
If you actually listen to a lot of the tonalities of my very older videos from like 2017 or even some of the ones from 2016 that you may hear at the end of the year, you can hear a very distinct difference in my voice. I don't sound very good. It was actually 2 times at the end of 2016 where I almost drank myself to death, and this was actually the goal of mine. I was trying to do it.
I was one of the patrons of the... So you were one of the people that gave to this? I was one of the patrons of the project, gave 200 plus myself. I always had an edgy sense of humor, and the shit he would say was wild. But he canceled it, right? Was there a reason for the cancellation, or just... I canceled it because... There was no reason, and he didn't refund anybody. Jesus Christ.
Which resulted in me waking up at a beach standing up. That's how blackout drunk I was the night before. I came back to reality pretty much standing up there, and I was like, what the hell's going on? Where am I? Like, I was that drunk that I was standing on a footpath near this beach called Eastern Beach, and I'm looking across, and I pull my phone out, and I'm trying to order an Uber, and I'm waiting for this Uber to come, and I'm still so drunk that it hasn't even been ordered. That's how out of it I was, and then I pretty much had what I assume was alcohol poisoning for multiple days afterwards. Like I said before, there's actually probably videos out there from around like the end of 2016 to the start of 2017 where I like on a whim uploaded some very depressing videos where I didn't have anyone to speak to, so I recorded a video and talked about my situation, which it's kind of sad that people might use something like that against me, but it's whatever, they exist, and it's a silly thing that I did at the time because that's how down I was. So there you go.
That's the internet age for you.
As pathetic as it sounds, being left by this girl and knowing that I was replaced pretty much destroyed my self-confidence.
Emotional posting, that's what Twitter's built on.
I didn't have anything at the time except a 3,000 subscriber YouTube channel, and I was someone that already had a lot of mental baggage because of my very violent childhood. To give you guys some more context too, I actually grew up with a schizophrenic mother and an abusive stepfather who had spent around 12 years in jail before he met my mother, so he himself was pretty mentally off too.
Jesus.
And they were both not only chain smokers but alcoholics who would literally drink, and I'm not even kidding, an entire boxed wine satchel to themselves per day. And yeah,
Well, it's
when I was
Australian
around 3 years
culture,
old,
though.
My father killed himself in our backyard by hanging himself off of a tree.
Holy fuck.
As it stands right now, as I record this video,
Jesus.
I live alone, and I don't really have anyone to talk to from my family. I haven't actually spent Christmas with anyone for the past 5 years, and my birthdays have pretty much all been on stream with you guys. When 2017 rolled on in, I collabed with Seth and Swag a lot, and I developed anxiety disorder really hard. It was so bad that I used to get paranoid that I actually sounded crazy in these collaboration videos. Pretty much I'd be recording with Swag and Seth, or Chuck if we ever collab with Chuck, and I'd be, you know, sitting there and I'd say my sentence, and then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, did I sound okay? Like, I had so much self-doubt in myself because of this development of anxiety disorder, which I didn't actually know what it was at the time, and if you guys deal with anxiety, you'll know that it's f***ing horrible. I'd rather be depressed till the day I die than deal with anxiety, if I had to choose one or the other, because anxiety is scary. I used to be in bed, freaking out to the point where I'd be scared to go to sleep each night. I wouldn't even want to go to bed because I didn't want to lie in bed and be so scared of my own self freaking out for no reason. That's how not only stressed I was, but how much in pain I was mentally. I was also at the time suffering pretty heavily from something called sleep apnea for many years, and I didn't even know I actually had this, but it was making my mental health way
Most people don't know
worse.
they have sleep apnea.
For those of you who don't know, essentially means that your tongue and your throat blocks your airway when you sleep, so you snore so intensely that you suffocate for seconds, and this pretty much leads to brain damage, excessive tiredness, and can cause things like strokes, heart attacks, memory loss, blood pressure problems. My anxiety and mental health was being amplified by this, and I had no idea. I just thought, man, I just have this really bad habit of waking up with headaches all the damn time. Like, maybe it's a response from, you know, how much I look at screens all day, like I've got eye strain or something like that, and it's giving me headaches from staying up too late, but apparently it wasn't. It was actually because I've been dealing with this snoring problem since I was like maybe 15 to 17 years old, and I had no idea this whole time. The reason that I started to notice that this was definitely sleep apnea was because I actually woke up choking on my own saliva multiple times, and people who had heard me sleeping would say that if I slept on my back, they could hear me literally snoring like an old man, and it would pause for multiple seconds. Like, sometimes 10 seconds I would go without breathing and then snore and then go again. Mix this in with being suicidal because you pretty much have nothing, and it's the perfect recipe to be taken advantage of. For example, to explain a bit more about Seth, because so far it probably sounds like, wow, he's such a helpful good guy, he was there for you during the worst time in your life. Well, sometimes I would message Seth and ask if he'd want to call because, you know, I thought he was cool and I wanted to hang out with him at the time, and
Jesus!
Really well, and he'd just straight up call me a retard or tell me to shut up if I over-explain stuff in
Fuck me.
Swag.
Holy
I mean,
Lord.
here's him threatening to block me for literally defending myself against rudeness in calls. In fact, this is nothing like the stuff you're going to see further on in the video, because these characteristics were only small things too. Because as he opened up his Discord server that same year, he started to become so infatuated by the 24/7 ass kissing from his fan base that he allowed Chuck to be bullied so hard in his servers by strangers, and he pretty much laughed while this would happen. You guys may not know this because it's been so kept hush-hush, but Chuck actually left his servers multiple times. Not always by his own choice too, usually because he would get bullied out of them, and stopped collabing with Seth for a long time, which he tries his best to deny all responsibility on that, which is just to this day the most ridiculous thing ever, that he actually thinks he was in the right for that stuff. And then people started to call me Chuck's replacement because, well, I could deal with his bullshit, but people like Chuck and everyone else who could smell what was going on, they didn't want to be around it. Here's a blurred screenshot I have that Seth was actually planning to spread around to make Chuck look like a pedophile. I will never share the contents of this image, but I have access to it and various other things that he was going to use on other people to expose them. Now, Chuck has since apologized for some of the ways he treated me in the past, and I actually like Chuck. I'm going to say that right now. Chuck's developed as a human being and is an actual nice guy at his core. I don't really have anything bad to say about him.
Did Yusuke beat all of the Espada? Is that even a question?
Whatever he said in the past was just a product of the fact
It's a
that he was
resounding
expected
yes.
to act a certain way back then. I understand why. But let me show you guys something really f***ed up that I found on my PC.
He absolutely could. I
which,
fucking love Yusuke.
Seth definitely wouldn't want people to see. Back in 2017, when I was at my lowest point, both he and Seth laughed at a meme that they made showing the following. Yes, that's me in 2017. And here's a recording that I have of Chuck confirming that this thing is actually real, in case Seth tries to lie and say that this is fake or it's some kind of image that we all laughed at together, which is not the truth. Bro, I was thinking the other day, randomly, do you remember that image from like 2017 of me hanging off the tree? Do you remember that shit?
Oh my god, dude.
It came to mind because
Don't remind me of that.
Yeah,
dude.
I know. I was
terrible.
It came up because I'm going through all these old selfies I had, and then I was like, what the is this? And then I just remembered having that.
Oh, that's so dude.
Yeah.
I can't believe I did.
No,
I mean, Seth made it, but I sent it to you. Oh, that was terrible, dude.
No, I have no ill will towards you about that. It was just funny because it just randomly came to mind. And I was like, I wonder if Chuck remembers this, because I forgot completely.
Thanks, Resub Bose.
Oh my god.
Anyone from Seth's original SS debate group, which was essentially his moderator group on his Discord server, will attest that Chuck was thrown to the wolves, and I feel Chuck was mostly only hostile towards people in that server because Seth would try to set this high level of expectation that he needs to be a big debater, and even baited Chuck into multiple different unfavorable debates and would make fun of Chuck if he lost in front of strangers who he had only known.
So these are anime debates, right? When he says debate, they're not in there debating like Mr. Beast's new video or anything. I imagine it's all anime-based debates. Is that correct? Is that the community? Yeah, more or less. Okay. They debate more than anime? Oh, so is it just like general all-purpose debates then? It's such a weird... General debates obviously get super heated depending on topics. To get that fucking mad about anime though, assuming it's an anime-centric debate, always blows my mind. To feel so strongly about a power level that you'll completely cut someone off, kick somebody out, shit on somebody, go fucking hard on them, all over a difference in fictional character beliefs. That is wild. He's a Prime Smart, and there's some Brace and Laxman and Plum. This power scaling stuff isn't sweet, buddy. True, I guess I may have been blind to just how cutthroat it is. To me, it just seems like it's more supposed to just be a funsy thing. Like, you know, I have a good example. Who was it? Was it me and Andrew? It might have been me and Andrew. I think we were talking about Dead Man Wonderland. We would, like, debate anime from time to time. But it was, at the end of the day, it was always just fun and goofy, nerdy shit. Like, I don't see why you'd get so crazy about it, like to defend something completely fictional and super subjective. There's no way of ever knowing which character is going to be better than another. I think it was Stan Lee that famously said the strongest character is always going to be the character the author wants to win at any given time, which is just super fucking true. Except for something like One Punch Man or like Superman, I guess, who are literally designed to never lose and be overpowered. But past that, it's all just supposed to be fun. Thanks to the resub Bridge, Satan, Tier 1 Dam, and the Prime Road. Oh, I know. It's only just begun, Dubs. Because whole life and personality based on anime. Well, it's not just anime. That concept is extended to everything. If you're a fan of something, you have to be the biggest fan of something and make it your whole personality. For a while, it was K-pop, for example. And that shit got so heated. I remember, who was it? Was it Blackpink? Their fan base became notorious for, like, reporting detractors to their workplace. I think was Blackpink, right? When they'd get into a heated argument, they'd find the person's place of work in order to report them. I think it was Blackpink. I could be getting that wrong. But yeah, that's just kind of the culture of fandom, where if you like something, you have to fucking obsess over it and fight for it. Which is wild. There's the resub extendo.
For weeks to months. Alright, Parrot, so Can you remember all the times that Seth tried to instigate myself into drama with people? I mean, we could talk about all the other people he's done it to, not just myself, but I know for a fact that you're aware he has he said some pretty bad shit about me behind the scenes to you and to others, and he purposefully wanted to get me into crap so he could cause me problems with, say, yourself or other debaters in the server.
Yeah. I mean, the most notable thing I remember is him specifically trying to start beef between me and you over, like, various Bleach things or the like KSI, like Logan Paul video me and him did, where he would come to me and talk about like how much you'd been, you know, talking bad about me behind my back and stuff, and I assume he was like saying similar stuff to you about me, and then we got in call and started talking about it, and it just was like nothing, like you hadn't been talking shit. There was no beef whatsoever. It was really weird. He really wanted to manufacture this like argument or conflict between us, and to be honest, he's just sort of been like that about lots and lots of different people hanging around in that community. I definitely remember him.
It's very I'll let you finish in a second, but it is very reminiscent of the 2 attempts he made with Noodles and Trini to debate me, but I ended up becoming friends with the both of them because they actually liked talking with me, which was kind of ironic.
Right. Yeah. And he had very weird things to say.
And this is all over debates?
To me in private at the time when you were sort of like helping him out with lots of like sponsorship stuff and like editing all his videos or whatever, and like, you know, very like, you'd think like you two would be very close, right? And you were like spending a lot of time together, but he would just like always talk about how he didn't trust you, or how he thought you were like trying to manipulate him, or that nothing he could say to you would be honest. And I think that was because he was manipulating you. A lot of the stuff he was saying to you wasn't honest, and he was always hankering for like this drama and conflict, which, you know, you were one of the people he was using to do that.
That's definitely for sure. Yeah, that's true. Around that time period, I remember this one time there was a guy called, his name was something Boo or something like that, and he posted something to do with the Naruto vs. Ichigo project in the server, and Seth's instant thought is that he accused me of trying to do something to the project, and he's like, I'm cancelling this, and he's going off me in BC. It turns